Arusha National Park was the perfect warm-up. It was a great way for the team to meet each other, not just the guides, but the other people that are going to be on the group too.
It's a great acclimatization, not only to Kilimanjaro and the trek itself, but also to the country and seeing a different part of it. Seeing, of course, Tanzania's second highest mountain, Mount Meru.
In addition to that, if you've never been to East Africa or on a safari in general, you can see big game such as zebra. We saw giraffe, we saw buffalo, Cape buffalo, and that's pretty huge, and you're seeing them on feet.
I really loved Arusha National Park. While they don't have as much game as other national parks, you're still in the city. You've got beautiful nature around. Many of the animals are also habituated, which means, of course, you can get closer to them.
You're walking with big game, and they don't take that lightly, so they make sure that every guest is accounted for, and they also turn it into a learning experience too. And that learning experience is absolutely critical, especially for somebody's first time.
Was fantastic, particularly because you're in the national park. We got to walk through nature, see animals, and enjoy that hot lunch in the national park is something that I would advise for anybody that's going to come to Arusha National Park before, again, coming to trek with DKE.
My name is Jake Lawrence. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I've always just had a passion for the outdoors, and I've really wanted to summit something. We've done a few 14ers back home, and then we really wanted to step it up and get a new challenge in, and we came across the opportunity to climb Kilimanjaro, and we just couldn't pass it up.
The minute I got invited to come by Waja, I was like, of course, I have to do it.
Everyone here, they're all first timers, including myself.
The rainforest zone, it really livened my spirit.
It's lush, it's green, it's got colobus, it's got monkeys, it's got all sorts of different wildlife, bird life, and it was just teeming with life.
They set the pace, pole, and I realized that, this was going to be something enjoyable.
We really loved it, and it was, again, great bonding, not only with the group, but with the DKE team.
People singing in these giant tents, and the mess tent, and bathrooms set up, and showers set up. It's something that I couldn't imagine.
Everybody's super chuffed on the staff to be here, and you can see that morale is super high, and everything's to like a super high standard, so it was excellent.
Day 2, the weather worked out for us because we didn't have a lot of rain. It was a bit wet, but we were prepared for that.
I'm always up for a challenge, and I love to physically challenge myself as well.
Going through a new climate, a new landscape, and just seeing that first person walking through it.
We're getting out of the forest and into what's called the moorland, apparently, which is where we are now.
So today was definitely more arduous than day 1. It's a lot of excitement. Everyone wants to, get to the next day, get to another point, and keep going further and further up the mountain.
It's more beautiful than words can really describe.
So much fun. We've got a great group here. We've got great guides.
A little bit of a downhill, a little bit of an uphill, and back downhill again. But now it opens up into this incredible expanse which we have right now. We're close to the Shira Plateau, and that's one of the 3 calderas here in Kilimanjaro.
And so it's just beautiful landscapes throughout and really unique.
Coming into our camp, which is so far beyond so many other camps that any other companies can offer, and just having our own setup, it's the perfect way to end a day.
Okay team, green light.
Green light, let's roll out! Woo!
Day 3, we woke up and just had this amazing, beautiful view of Mount Kilimanjaro. Sun was shining, started off on a nice easy trek.
You start to realize you're getting like closer and closer and closer, and that you're actually making step forward.
This morning was some of the best views that we had. It looked like we were close enough just to reach out and touch it.
Everything just turns into a picturesque landscape, and you really feel one with nature, one with God.
It felt like we were on another planet, or Avatar, Jurassic Park. So these are
These are not flora and fauna that we see at home.
You can't do this justice with video and photo sometimes. The actual setting foot on this soil is game changing.
Left, right, trying to stay present.
Great day.
One step at a time, one day at a time.
Everybody on Dismass's team is taking amazing care of us.
I'm doing good.
It's lovely coming in and camp's already set up. Hot showers waiting for us, bathrooms set up for us, mess tents set up for us. Not a care in the world.
We are so many levels above the rest, level above the standard when it comes to a luxury trekking experience in Kilimanjaro.
Let us line up. Good to go.
It's day 4. Every day presents a different challenge.
We moved up general incline the whole day, but the sun was out. Everybody's spirits were high.
The hike to Lava Tower, again, just beautiful weather. You couldn't have asked for anything better. Beautiful sun, not a cloud in the sky until we got to Lava Tower.
And that was great because we got to sit there and eat and acclimate some more.
It's just so smart to be able to get to the higher altitudes. I feel very safe doing that.
I can't talk enough about how good all of the soups are. We've had soup at every meal.
Pizza and the vegetable soups are just incredible. I mean, it's just like ordering at a restaurant, but then even better, also with the set of location.
Yeah, it was really good.
The weather turned a little bit inclement, but wasn't anything we weren't prepared for. So we all had ponchos, rain gear, hats, so.
I actually enjoy hiking in the rain because, you know, as long as you have the gear that you need, which, by the way, they send you a packing list, so you have the gear that you need. And if you forget something, they'll give it to you.
Yeah, we went through it all today.
I was happy to get down to Bronco.
Got to see some streams and some waterfalls.
And entering Bronco's, that is an incredible camp, just where it's situated between Bronco Wall and this great valley.
And then all of a sudden you turn around and the cloud just disappeared over Kilimanjaro. And from where the valley was, the sun just lit it up incredibly beautiful.
Climbing the Bronco Wall was honestly probably the highlight so far, just because it wasn't just hiking with trekking poles. You're climbing over these lava rocks, which, by the way, have great handholds everywhere, so you have a strong grip. And the guides are helping you along, but it really starts to feel like you're climbing a mountain, not just walking a trail.
It's a lot of fun being able to look ahead and see what's upcoming, and I love the challenge of it.
Like scrambling up the wall and more like rock climbing than I expected.
It felt like it was my childhood dream, like I was Spider-Man or like in Mission Impossible. It was amazing.
There's a lot of teamwork, so we're grabbing each other's wrists, we're pulling each other up.
It's a good day when there's sun. The idea of hiking higher, pushing our bodies, but then allowing ourselves to rest a little bit lower made a huge difference in us being able to get as far as we did.
Very manageable today.
And then you get to the top of the wall and you sit there for a while, and Killi is just above you looking down on you.
So rewarding at the top when we got there, those views.
I mean, looking around me now, seeing that we're above the clouds, it sinks in at a different level.
I think it just brought a different aspect to the trek and, you know, gave a little bit of variety there.
Congrats for today. We call it a day.
I think it was the best part so far.
We had to go to bed very early.
And when they came and woke us up in our tents, I woke up feeling one of the best, like the best I felt the whole trip.
We set off around 11 p.m.
In the pitch black, we all had our like 4 layers that Dismass had come and approved the day before.
We couldn't see where we were going, which in some cases I think was to the advantage because we could just keep walking and have no idea as to where the summit was.
An 80-year-old can summit this mountain. I can summit this mountain.
I know I can do it. I know it's gonna be challenging, but I'm gonna do it.
It's about believing in yourself, trusting in other people.
I have the means, I have the mental wherewithal to bring myself there, and once we get to the top, it's gonna be an emotional moment.
And just left, right, left.
And then they started singing for like 3 hours, which I absolutely loved. They were singing and dancing up up the mountain, which put a smile on my face and made everything that much easier.
And by the time that the sun rose and we got to Stella Point, it was just, kind of everything that we had hoped it was.
It's impossible almost to capture the ambience and the feeling of being here on camera.
And it was lit up in the most perfect, beautiful lighting I've ever seen in my life.
The sun had risen, so it was getting a little bit warmer again, and you could see the mountain, you could see the clouds. It was beautiful. Like the view up there was absolutely amazing. You could see the ice wall, which was really cool.
This is what I've dreamed about. This is like these milestone achievements that you get, and it's nothing like it on Earth.
To reach Uhuru Peak was a massive bucket list moment for me when I touched the Uhuru Peak sign to say this is the official, tip-top peak of Africa.
I'm so glad that I did it. I'm so glad I did it with Dismass and the team. In one word, life-changing.
It's just one of these things that I'll be talking about this to my grandchildren. I won't be talking about the other kind of normal, iconic global travel experiences that everybody else talks about.